subversion, or treason without proper regard for evidence. It also means the practice of making unfair allegations or using unfair investigative techniques, especially in order to restrict dissent or political criticism. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, America was overwhelmed with concerns about the threat of communism growing in Eastern Europe and China. Senator McCarthy's rise to power. He was born in Wisconsin in 1908. He completed high school in 1 year and graduated from Marquette University. Was at first a Democrat but turned Republican to be voted into the judicial system of Wisconsin. From 1942 to 1945, Senator McCarthy was a Marine. After World War II, he won the Republican nomination and became a party of the Senate. The propaganda shown here is during the time period that Senator McCarthy was in power. It's used to scare the American people and just try to convince them that communism was the worst thing that could happen to them. In the propaganda on the left, it shows what would the US be like if it was taken over by communists. It would be just completely terrible and unfriendly. McCarthy's list includes people from the government who he thinks has infiltrated the government and are Russian spies. During this period, thousands of people lost their jobs and hundreds were sent to prison. The U.S. government executed Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, two Communist Party members, as Russian spies. All of these people were victims of McCarthyism, the witch hunt during the 1940s and 1950s against communists and other leftists, trade unionists, and civil rights activists, intellectuals, and artists. This is how McCarthyism began to scare the people of this time. Like we just said, people from this time were accused of being communists, and that destroyed their careers, their families, and just their lives in general. Many authors or journalists were sent to jail because they were communists or supposedly communist. Anyone who Senator McCarthy didn't like or didn't agree with would be accused of communism, and they would lose what I said earlier, their career, their job, and basically their entire life. One man, as you'll see later on, committed suicide because Senator McCarthy pushed him to it. Lastly, Senator McCarthy targeted historians who just completely, and intellectuals who completely may have justified communism in somewhat as being its own form of government. However, McCarthy thought that this was appalling. He was appalled, and he just thought it was so terrible that he decided to, end their careers. This video here shows McCarthy's vision on Democrats in the United States. This video shows that McCarthy did not hate all Democrats. He only hated the half of Democrats that also were communists, or he thought were communists. The Red Iceberg is a comic book that was made in 1960 that warns young readers of the dangers ahead if America, or Uncle Sam in this comic, fails to steer clear of the Red Iceberg, which is communism. This comic was distributed to thousands of Catholic school children during the Cold War. Senator McCarthy and the Red Scare connect to the Crucible because the communists in this case are the witches in the Crucible. The Red Scare was often referred to as a witch hunt, which is just what the Crucible is, a witch hunt in Salem. Arthur Miller was actually one of the people
that was accused of being a communist during the Red Scare. However, he refused to name names of other communists that he knew about. Miller's defiance in the court of McCarthyism got him a conviction for contempt in court, which, however, was later reversed by the Supreme Court. Communism is still prevalent in society and the whole world today. Many countries still use communism, as seen in these pictures. On the left shows that communism is still part of the world, mostly in Asia, and the right it shows the commonwealth of the communist nations. Since the 1950s, most Americans have condemned the McCarthyite witch hunts and show trials. By large majorities, Americans oppose firing communists from their jobs or banning communist speakers or books. But over the past several years, increasing numbers of historians, writers, and intellectuals have sought to minimize, explain away, and justify McCarthyism. Today, there is still a negative connotation about communism in the United States. Communism to this day is still highly frowned upon. Communists are still thought of as evil or bad people trying to ruin the country. It may not be as extreme as it once was, with the people losing their jobs and basically their lives over it, but it is still prevalent in today's society. Fun facts. The opposed man was so shocked by McCarthy's destroying his life in the running that he later committed suicide. McCarthy was accused for taking bribes from the Pepsi-Cola Corporation, which led him into trying to turn the focus off him and turn it onto how communism was destroying this country and the whole world.